It's pretty hard to pick a favorite Bible verse. There's so much scripture that speaks to us profoundly, often depending on what is going on for us personally in our own lives or in the lives of those we know and love. As I initially gave some consideration to this request to share a favorite verse, I was pretty much all over the map, so to speak, trying to decide which Bible verse I might share until I remembered my very first Sunday school experience. The first bit of scripture that made an impact in my life so many years ago and remains significant in my faith journey today is found in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 31 and 32. If you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. I was 8 years old and attending Sunday school for the first time at Bethany Lutheran Church in Buffalo, New York. I knew some very important things about Jesus from my Christmas and Easter celebrations, but my Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Hakes, was telling us stories from the Gospel of John that made Jesus seem like an adult man who was really interested in so many ordinary people as he spoke to them personally in his travels and offered promises to them that gave them hope. I liked this Jesus, and I wanted to be a disciple. Probably because I didn't have a father who lived at home with our family, I wondered what it might be, what it might look like for a little girl to talk to this man, Jesus. I wondered what I might say and whether Jesus was even someone who still spoke with children in the then 20th century. With childlike fear and apprehension, I decided one night that I needed to talk to Jesus. It was about a very big problem my family and I were experiencing at home, a problem that I believed could only be resolved by a very loving and very powerful God. I was somewhat worried that God might not approve of my request, but I focused on what I was learning about God's kindness and caring. And then I waited and listened and looked for God's response. When it finally occurred to me that my prayer was already being answered, I spoke to God so much more often, followed by waiting and listening and looking for God's presence in my life. And time after time, through those rough patches of doubt and good times of God's grace, I have held on to God's promise that he spoke so many years ago to believers way back then and to me throughout my life. If you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Thanks be to my teacher, Mrs. Hakes, and thanks be to God.